Alrighty.
Awesome.
Welcome to the shipyard and a nice tabletop simulator live stream. I've got. Ooh, the Kobayashi Maru actually has a fun little derelict ship model. That's a nice touch, Jerry. I'm sure Chris put it in,
Thank
but
you.
it's still a nice touch out on the board. Uh, well, Jerry, I'm going to turn it over to you. You introduce what's actually going on here.
Sure. So what we have is the M5 layout here. Um, I know I sent you the PDFs for it, and I haven't published the PDF online yet, but I will. So this is for the Klingons in themselves working inside of the Kobayashi Maru scenario here. Um, I will admit that they are designed to hunt and kill. So they are designed to be super hard. You can see down here we have all the ship cards, and inside the PDF it'll list everything that's available. So it'll have the fleet build, it'll have a link to the Utopia fleet build along with the ships and what upgrades are on it. Um, and then the next page after that is the M5 game setup. I have the ships in the starting area right now, but they are not set up. I don't know if I have a physical dice in front of me, but I don't know if you want to roll the dice since you're the one playing against it.
I
Um,
I really don't care. If Yeah, I
okay,
mean, it's probably easier for you to just do it, say it. That way, I'm not toggling in and out of Tabletop Simulator,
sure, yeah, that works for me.
and,
Um,
I mean, I trust the integrity. That's all that matters. Yeah, if anyone
okay,
watched my live stream where I built, shall we say, Klingon cheese. This is very much
yeah,
not Klingon cheese. This is all the stuff I said. No way am I playing against those upgrades. Yeah, these are the good Klingon ships. This is the Klothos, uh, Kolar's battle cruiser. I think I did go up against Kolar's battle cruiser. Um, but yeah, this is like a good.
yeah. Out of all three of the ships, I've and all the test plays I've done with this, I'd say the Klothos is probably the worst of the three, just based on what's on board,
And
the
I
upgrades, and
like the Klothos
the
as a
captain
ship.
itself.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
this is a good setup of abilities, captains and such.
yep. So
So
they're all high captain skill, and that's just purely designed for this scenario. Just because we are playing the Kobayashi Maru,
it makes
um,
sense.
they're not
Fortunately,
going to
I'm a
send
little
the
higher,
worst.
but
They're not going to send the worst captains out of everything.
no, I mean,
Right.
they could. You catch them on a Tuesday. It's a training run, but
Sure. Sure.
still, it's ideally you want to face the best that a side can throw out, and that's what we've got going on here. This is
Yep.
well, this will put me back in the midst of something. Oh, that's what I have not gotten out. Yeah, I kind of need a dial and
Oh, and your template. Yeah.
a template. Yeah, those kind of help. And I all I do is I copy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Helps to make sure. I'm like, I know I'm missing something. We can paste that. There we go. This is still the best part of running games on Tabletop Simulator is you don't have to make the maneuvers. You just
Right.
run your ship. You just say, "Hey, I want to do a one straight." Okay, there we did it. And it really is that
Yep.
easy. So So let's flip that around so that it's going my way. And let's actually flip me around. Yeah, sorry, not trying to make anyone sick. Motion sick there. Okay, so you've already done your setup, correct?
No, the ships are not set up.
Okay.
They're in the starting zone. Just I had to get them out of the way. Now
That
each of these ships also do not have one of those hidden dial maneuvers that you have,
got it.
and that's generally because their movement's going to be decided by a dice roll. So there's no pre-planning involved for them.
Got it. Now, do you want to play on a map or this target?
Oh yeah, map. Let's after setup. Let's change the map.
Because that makes it easy to get range 1.
Yep, because all the ranges are already marked out for you.
Great. That makes it super nice.
So, now you can start. With M5, I give you the option to start with initiative, or for you to just give M5 the initiative to start. It's completely up to you, or you can do the initiative roll. That's up to the player and how they want to figure that out.
I mean, what I was looking at least is you get up to skill 8, but not skill 9, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, and I'm skill 9. So initiative's never actually going to matter.
No, and that's true.
At least for this.
I always give.
And I understand why you do that. Let the player have a little bit of an advantage because M5 is, in some ways, a little more lethal than the average player. It's a computer simulation, basically. It has no emotions. It doesn't make decisions. It goes through an algorithm. But
Correct, yeah.
it is meant to hunt and kill. So, I mean, I kind of just went to 9 because I'm going, well, I'll take my chances.
Yeah. All right. So, for setup, with the starting zone is set up into 6 different zones themselves on the M5 PDF. Okay. Starting with 1 in this corner, the far, for your view, the far right corner.
Yeah.
2 being in the far left, and just kind of rotating between the 2, with 5 and 6 being in the middle.
Sure.
One change that I did make to M5 is that only 1 ship can start in 1 zone. That's sense. Because I was running into a lot of issues where M5 was bumping itself and just generally bogging itself down. So I'll go ahead. I will roll the die, and we will get these ships set up, and then you can do your thing.
Great. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go get
the first dial. One would be,
or not a dial, but a maneuver card.
That's there.
I do not want the refit. I just want the normal constitution.
All right, so we end up with a 3, 1, and a 6. Now, the Klingons are in their spread. And again, for anybody on the live stream, I apologize. You might hear some background noise on my end. That would be my children. It's bedtime in this house, so they are getting wrangled.
Okay. Well, it's important to wrangle children.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or so somebody tells me. I don't know. I'm the newlywed, not the new father. So now, as for
it's been a treat.
My theory is, well, I don't know. Well, you're not actually playing. M5 is playing, and you don't make decisions for M5.
No, I don't.
So my theory is, I have Picard maneuver. I need to get to M5 about as fast as humanly possible. Also, if I don't, I'm in trouble. And so my my whole idea is I need to push. And I've got Klingons, but at least the round in which I use Picard maneuver, I'm not in immense trouble because -4 dice doesn't super duper scare me.
Right.
So that much helps. Um, Other things aren't nice, but that's also why I have Cheat Death and Picard. And I guess I should say right now that Picard 8 does hate Klingons. I mean, that was kind of a given, but
So
let's
Ahab
be
Picard.
let's be official about it.
Yeah.
I have Ahab Picard.
Okay.
So he will be rolling one less die and setting a crit and rolling one extra defense die against every attack. So, just trying to do the little things to make it a little better for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that in mind,
All right.
I am set.
Okay. So you can definitely pick out the map you'd like to use. The background doesn't really matter to me.
No. I'm kind of going for one that doesn't look too cluttered. That looks pretty good. Yeah, that should show up nicely on stream. Oh, and do you have a way of tracking rounds?
Oh,
We got mission tokens, I know, but that way we can just... There we go. So we've got 8 mission tokens there.
sir.
So just as a refresh for anyone who's not intimately familiar with Kobayashi Maru, like, well, Jerry, who kind of wrote the tweaks for this month, and me, who played it twice, didn't mean to play it twice, and is now playing it a third time. I have 8 rounds to go rescue the Kobayashi Maru survivors. As an action, when I'm within range 1 to 2, I can disable my shields and beam 1 mission token worth of survivors on board my ship. I have to exit the playfield along my starting edge in order to win. I get points for every Klingon ship I destroy. I get points for surviving rounds. And I get points for Maru's survivors that I rescue. So, and if I don't get out, then it's, well, really considered mission fail, but not as bad as if I were to be destroyed. That is definitely mission fail.
Yeah. I mean, it's a no-win scenario, so you still got to count the point.
It is a no-win scenario, but you know what? It's at least fun to try. And this time we're going to play things...
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're going to play things appropriately. Like, not cheat on the range of aft photon torpedoes and all of that good stuff. So, I'm doing this with the Defiant 1764, Ahab Picard, and a bunch of other things that I'll highlight as time goes.
Awesome. All right, so I am ready to start if you are.
I thought I was. I went and clicked on my maneuver dial and it didn't want to do what it was supposed to, but I've set a maneuver. So I am ready for you to start the M5.
All right. So, for those of you who don't know much about the M5 movement system is something that was designed by Christopher Peters, based off of another design from X-Wing, and I think it's Heroes of the Antares cluster. I'm not 100% sure.
I
Don't hate
think
me.
it
I'm not an
is.
X-wing player.
It's the same.
I know.
It's a similar inspiration as Alliance.
Yes, it's the same developer, Josh Dirksen.
Yeah.
Awesome guy. Got to talk to him at Origins last year. But the system itself, so the D7 movement template is something that Chris Peters had worked on, but I took on to try and incorporate it into our monthly OP series. And moving forward, we'll talk about that a little later once things get shuffled out here. So the movements for these ships are based on arcs, meaning the first arc is the primary firing arc. So for M5, your ship is the main focal point in this case.
Mm-hmm.
If we were playing with 3 other ships, it would be whatever enemy ship is closest to them that they're going to base their movement off of. So in this case, I have a roll chart that has front arc. Flanking would be anything. If you draw a line from the back of the base here, this way, and in between this front firing arc line, from this line here, this is considered flanking, and then everything behind the base of the ship is aft.
Okay.
Now, the other 2 terms that need to be defined for the movement is closing and fleeing. Closing is when an enemy ship is facing the M5. So right now, your ship is facing me. That's going to be considered closing, even though we're not in arc. Inside of M5, you are in that front arc closing. Fleeing is when your ship is faced away. So when the enemy ship is not facing the D7 or M5. So, having kind of said that, and again, all this will be posted up on Antares' Facebook page. I will post the Klingon and the Romulan version, and you guys can see what I'm talking about.
And probably in the Discord too.
Yeah, I'll post it in the Discord as well.
Yeah.
So for Lursa's ship, who's going to go first? No, this is Martok's ship. Martok 7. Your enemy ship is considered in the primary front firing arc, but it's range 3+.
Okay.
So roll the die. It's a 6. So that a 6 equals a 3 forward maneuver. Straight out of the gate, it moves that way. Now for actions, there are these things called action trees, and it's basically, as you stated earlier, it's a computer simulation that is in paper form. So the actions are always going to be if-then statements. So in this case, if an enemy ship is greater than range 3, the divisor, because it doesn't have cloak, it's going to evade.
It makes sense.
That's the action. And that's it. That ship's done. Now, these other 2 ships are going to move, so we will just continue moving on down the line here. So for core, again, you're in that front firing arc. It is range 3+. The die roll is a 5, so it's going to be a 2 bank. Now, that was one of the questions that my playtesters had, was deciding how to turn M5. And the easiest answer I had for them was that M5 is always going to move towards the enemy ship. And, you can't design a paper AI not to use a human. It's always going to have a human to use. Oh, that's the wrong ship. There we go. It's always going to have a human to use. So the human has to kind of control what M5 is doing to the best of their ability without cheesing it. Because you could obviously bank this and hit right into Kobayashi Maru if you wanted to. But since your ship is on the right-hand side, it makes sense to have it bank right. My right, your left.
Yeah.
So, with that movement out of the way, that ship's action tree, this one is Core 8, so that is the Klothos. And each ship has its own action tree, so there's not one generic. And these action trees are tailored to the upgrades that are on board equipped to that ship. So for the Klothos, the action is if the enemy ship is greater than range 3, cloak. Makes sense. So the Klothos is now cloaked, and it does not have any other actions other than that. So now we are on to Kolar's battle cruiser, and in this case, draw this line. So you are in the front, barely in that front arc.
Barely, but yeah.
Range 3 plus. So that would be a 3. So it has it 3 or 4 is equals of 1 bank. So again, you could bank it off the board, but what's the fun in that? Gotta make sure I got the right ship here. So 1 bank. And then for Kolar, now Kolar has a couple of cool things on it to highlight. It has Lursa, who, and this is the version of Lursa that gives you the cloak or sensor action as a free action. So you have another action on top of that, but they also have Admiral Galmeron, who's an action. So the action tree is also built to handle that. So for Lursa, her free action is if the ship is not cloaked, cloak. Simple enough. So now she is cloaked. Now the action on the action tree is Admiral Galmeron battle station. So they grab a battle station. And then the free action from Admiral Galmeron, because he is a Klingon admiral on a Klingon ship with a Klingon captain, he is going to, according to this, now the free action tree reads if an enemy ship is greater than range 3, cloak. So that one is out because we're already cloaked. So the next line reads, if an enemy ship is greater than range 3 and the ship is cloaked, do an evade action. So M5 has run through all of its actions. Okay. Yes, it is your turn.
All right. Well, I set a 4 straight. So I do a 4 straight. And then before I decide what I want to do, because I'm looking at Klingons and going, but I think I do actually want to do Picard maneuver. So that says if I did a 3, 4, or 5 straight, I can discard this card and do a 5 straight. I take an Ox, but then all attacks against my ship are at -4 dice. So I will flip that over. I would do a 5 straight, and I will take an Ox power token.
All right.
And that's going to put a couple of shots into play here.
Yeah.
So
hopefully.
So I think my shot is going to be here on the Klothos.
Okay.
Yeah. On the Klothos. Even though you're cloaked, that just feels like a bigger offensive threat to me.
Yeah, I won't lie to you. It very much is.
Okay, so I get 3 dice normally, plus I have type 8. So that takes me to 4. But then I have Picard, so I roll 1 less but set a crit. So now I need what I need, and I'm just pulling dice out here. Boy, I wish I could roll dice like that. So we're going to leave that as my set crit.
Okay.
And then I will roll these dice and let whatever lands there. Wow.
Okay.
That hurts. Okay. And I am in your forward
So the
firing
Klothos,
arc.
it rolls 1. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's rolling the 1 defense dice plus the 4 for being cloaked.
Yep. Duh. Okay.
So it's got its 2 evades.
Yep.
Now, another thing to highlight with the M5 is the Klothos does have a Klingon cloaking device on board.
Yes.
So the Klingon cloaking device itself has a passive ability of flipping a blank to an evade. M5 is always going to use any passive abilities that are on board whenever they're available. And that'll be highlighted again here in this next attack, just with the Klothos itself. So I'll get rid of that. So everything was evaded, except, yeah, even that set crit.
Yep. I'm just leaving my set crit on Picard. Because it's easier that
Okay,
way.
yeah, that makes sense.
Then I don't have to always pull the die out.
That makes sense. So Lursa obviously doesn't have a shot, so she's not going to do anything over here.
Yeah.
Core 8 has the shot, and he's going to take it. So, again, with his passive abilities, he's going to put 2 time tokens on himself. Or M5 is going to put the 2 time tokens on. So it's going to be adding the +1 attack dice and the 1 hit, which we will set off here in the corner. You're at range 2. So it's a normal of 3, +1 for core, and then I believe it's +1 for the ship as well, because it's cloaked. Yes.
Okay. And then -4 for Picard maneuver.
Yep. And then minus the 4. So really it's rolling 1.
Plus a set hit.
Plus the set hit. Okay, well that worked out fairly good.
So then I roll 1 for the ship, +1 for Picard, +1 for Riker. And
Yes.
Riker gets to convert a battle station into an evade. And anyone who's ever watched me play a game knows that I roll evade dice like crap. Hey, there
Like
we
that?
go. Living up to the name. How did I know? So that's bye-bye 2 shields.
All right, and now the Klothos also does not cloak, thanks to Animated Core's ability. Cloak token does not flip during this attack.
Yeah.
So he's good there. Now the next attack is going to come from Martok 7.
Okay.
And you got range 2 there. He's also a base of 3.
So unless he has anything special.
The only thing is the Advisor's ability is going to come into play with this one. So he also gets to set a crit.
Okay. So
just because you went, your speed was 4.
Yes.
And then, so he's going to set a crit off to the side. And that's really it, because
then Picard maneuver.
-4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's just got the 1 crit.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay, and Riker would convert anyways, but where was that roll last time? Okay.
So that's it. That's round 1.
It is round 1, so time ticks away.
I'll just set it next to your...
Sure. I'll leave them in a pile out here, because I'll put my Maru survivors. Perhaps where my shields were. Okay. See, now it's kind of interesting, because it's like, where are other ships going to end up?
Yeah. So, and then again, initiative really doesn't matter because you're at captain skill 9 at the moment.
Right.
In the event that something does happen. So Martok 7 will be moving first. Again, you're in that front forward firing arc and you're closing, but this time you're in a different category because you are range 1 to 2 closing. So the die roll coming up as a 4. So on the chart here, it is 4 or 5 equals a 1 bank. So Martok will be banking 1 towards you just like that.
Okay.
Now, the action tree for Martok, so you're not greater than range 3. You're definitely range 1. If
Yes.
enemy ship is range 1 to 3 and inside of the front firing arc, the action is to target lock.
Okay.
So Martok will be grabbing his target lock. And you can take that with you.
I would have said battle stations, but you know.
There is a contingency in there for battle station.
Okay.
But the target lock gives him the reroll for M5.
I guess
If
I
he's still
haven't.
attacking at range 1. Assuming that you're going to be in this area, which you probably won't be.
Yeah.
So moving down the line, Core 8 is next. Still cloaked. You're definitely range 2 in the front forward firing arc, so it's going to fall into that same category. And the die roll is a 1. So that's 1 or 2 is a 1 forward. Puts him right there. Oh, I'm going to take a time token off of him. Go. For the Klothos, if enemy ship is range 1 to 3 inside of the front firing arc, target lock with him as well.
Okay.
He's going to grab a target lock. That there. Now for Lursa, you're still in that front forward firing arc and you are range 3 plus. So it puts it into a different category. It is a 4. So 3 or 4 in the range 3 plus closing category is a 1 bank. Assuming your ship's directly in front, but M5, this is where the player comes in to assume a little. You're not going to stay there. You're not going to be there much longer. You're going to end up somewhere around the Kobayashi Maru. So it makes sense for M5 to bank left, my right.
Yeah, towards the Maru.
What was it bank 2? Exactly. And again, you are still out of range. So this is the other thing that a lot of the testers had a question about. The which ship is that? That's the Kolar's battle cruiser. With the captain ability, since the ship is already cloaked, now she gets to do a sensor echo instead as her free action. The question that came up was, well, where do we put the sensor echo? And the best answer I can give you is this is where you have to use your reasoning and assume that you know where the ship's going to be.
Yeah.
So that's left up to the player as to where to place it. Now there is a contingency in there for M5 to decide how far they want a sensor echo. So using either that one maneuver template or the 2. So for that is also a die roll. 1, 3, 5 equals the 1 maneuver, or 2, 4, 6 is the 2 forward.
Okay.
And in this case, it's a 1, so it's going to use the 1 forward. And since M5 is going to assume that you're going to be in this area here, around the Kobayashi Maru, it's going to sensor echo my right and forward. And I hope I get this one right, because these buttons always get me confused. There we go.
You got it. Yeah,
There
it
we
is
go.
tricky.
Yeah, it's based on the orientation of your base and what side you're playing.
Yes.
Okay, so that is the free action from the captain. So we move on to the action for them, which is Galron, who then gives them another free action off the action bar. You're still outside of range. So I believe that is evade, according to the action tree.
Okay. All right. Well, I set a 1 bank right, which, just clears. Hey, look at that. And
Just
that was
clears,
green.
barely.
So Valeris gives me a free evade. And now I'm going to check. Okay, you do have me
just barely.
Yeah, nothing you can do about that. But when in Rome, we need to Maru. So then I will rescue some survivors.
All right.
Yeah, put them on my maneuver card. That works. Okay, so time has ticked. Or not time has ticked. Maru has survived, and now I'm going to get shot. But I get to
well,
shoot
you're
first.
going to do some shooting first, so...
So I get, I get 3 plus type 8 plus range. So that's 5 minus 1 for Picard. So I get 4 plus my set crit. Come here. I ran into this actually both times I played. I just can't roll. I can't roll hits.
All right. Yeah, I had that same issue every time. So core 8 is still cloak, so it's going to get the 4 bonus for the cloak.
I mean, if you...
And
oh!
There you go. There you go. That hurts. Core does have Klingon cloaking device, so it's going to convert one of the blanks into an evade at least. So that's what it comes with.
So that cancels the hit, which leaves
it takes the crit. All right, and the crit for Core is the Jostle Navigator.
Ooh. Okay.
Whenever you execute a maneuver that causes you to overlap, suffer 1 damage. So.
And you should be fine with that, but.
Yeah. It's no imminent threat.
No.
It could happen with M5, but.
It could. It's unlikely.
Yeah. So, M5 is going to take its shot now. Obviously, it's got you just barely in that corner.
Yeah, it's still enough.
Two, 3. It's got the 3, 4 attack die because the Klothos gives you the +1 for being cloaked.
Don't forget
still in your primary,
range.
so that one. Yep. And then 1 more for range, so that is a 5. And get those rolled.
Wharf.
It's got Wharf, so it's going to convert. Nope, not to a crit hit. Doesn't have anything to convert the battle station.
Has a target lock if you wanted it. I don't know. Does M5 require that to be re-rolled?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
So anytime M5 has a token, it has to use the token.
Okay.
So if it's got a target lock, it's going to use the target lock to re-roll. If it's got a battle station, it's going to use it.
Okay. Yeah, so... Okay.
Oh.
Well, I get my 3 green dice.
Yes.
I got 2 evades. Not a third. I was... Yeah, let's there. I'm
All
trying to
right.
move
So
and I hit
then,
the wrong button. There, I've got 2
yeah.
evades plus my evade token.
All right. So that takes out 3 of them.
Yeah. Well, that was fun. I threw a die at your. Okay, so I'm taking 2
Oh,
crits. That's the
2
short of
crits.
this. All right, let's shuffle. And then let's draw. And flip. And turn around. Okay, I'm skill 0. Annoying, but I can live with it. And what else I got? I think I gotta lose a secondary weapon.
Oh,
No, that's the. Oh yeah, I do.
yep.
Um. Hmm. 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 Well, I will lose the aft photons. Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's not nice, but all right.
Now, I don't believe M5 has another shot. You're barely out of range of Martok. I don't believe Lursa's
Just to
gotcha.
highlight how close that was.
So that is the end of round.
Yeah, that is just close.
Just
I mean this is one
sliver.
of those situations where Tabletop Simulator proves that, and in real life, who knows? Who knows
Yeah.
if you could actually prove that shot? Okay,
So
I
that
live.
is in game or in round. Here's
Yeah,
one more mission token to enter your stack.
and don't forget to time token core.
Yeah, so he's back.
Yeah, as is this shield.
But the cloak token comes down. Now again, a passive ability. So at the end phase, it's going to put 3 time tokens on Klingon cloaking device to remain cloaked.
To keep it, okay. So now we're going to get some more interesting
core comes
M5
back.
stuff because I will move first
Yep.
because I'm skill 0, and then I'll be in like an aft and fleeing, and
Yes.
basically it sounds like more bookkeeping work for you, but
Well, I mean, it's just a chart.
it is. Okay, so now, see, I'm thinking, how do I evade some stuff? But I'm gonna pull another 1 bank right. Okay, and that is green, so I get a free evade from Valeris. And I will lower shield in Maru again.
Okay.
Or not, well,
All right.
I lower all my shields, but I only have 1. And I'm kind of playing a little reckless because I do have cheap death.
Sure. Yeah.
It probably won't save me, but
It might. I mean, really, what I found playing M5 is that it really depends on the play style. If you're all gung ho about it, and you come straight at them, they'll take you out quickly. But if you play conservatively, they seem to hunt you a little longer.
yeah,
But I've never, in my playtest, I've never survived. So some of the playtesters have, which that's fine. Variation's always good for a game.
yes. Yeah, M5
All right.
shouldn't be this unwinnable force.
No.
I mean, the Kobayashi
No.
Maru itself is very difficult. Even playing against the cheese build, I
Yes.
barely escaped. And I still took damage.
Exactly. So with who's this? Martok 7 here. So for the chart, you are no longer in the front firing arc. Depicted here at this front firing arc line. So you are now considered flanking, and your ship is facing away. So now you are fleeing. So that puts us in a whole new category of flanking and fleeing, and you are range 2.
Two,
You're
yeah.
in barely in 2. So 2 fleeing. The die roll is a 3. So that is a 2 bank. So it's going to be a 2 bank. My left, your right.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Puts it there.
And now it's range
So,
one.
yeah. So the action tree is if an enemy ship is at range 1 to 3 inside the front firing arc and has a target lock, battle station.
And you do.
And it does. So now we are got that magical combo of the battle station target lock.
Mm.
For core 8 here, you are considered behind the line. So you're going to be in the aft region for him, and
Okay.
you are facing away, so you're fleeing. So die roll is a 1. So range 1 to 2 fleeing, and the aft is a 1 bank. So it is going to bank to the left again or right. Puts her
Okay.
there.
Little respite. I'll take it.
Yeah. It may not seem like much right now, but later in the game,
I know where it's heading. That is not.
yeah,
It looks like a respite right now. It's not long
yeah,
term. That is a position that says, I know where you're going. I know where to
right.
find you.
All right. So now the
Plus
action.
this ship still.
Enemy ship is range 1 to 3. Enemy ship is range 1 to 3 and inside the front fire arc target lock. If the enemy ship is range 1 to 3 and outside of the front firing arc, and the enemy ship can make an attack, which you cannot. So the action here is to evade.
I would have thought target lock, but
In,
I
I think
it's
that
just
might
because it's a
be.
setup, and because you know that I can't attack, there's no reason to evade. But
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna write that. I'm actually gonna write that down because
it,
I believe that should be part of the action tree here.
yeah,
I think that was just omitted. It
like
should be
I'm
target
not
lock
trying to make it
if you're
harder on
close.
myself. I'm just trying to say,
No,
hey, this is since this is partially playtest, and I'm just
yeah,
trying to say, hey, thought.
no, you're absolutely right because it's already cloaked. You can't make an attack, so there should be another line of text there. It says if enemy ship cannot make an attack and you're cloaked, target lock. Because that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's what core is going to do, is to target lock. And you can play test something 100 times and find a new bug.
Oh yeah.
And then nothing's ever set in stone.
And until you release it to the wild, you'll never find
Yeah,
every bug. And even then,
exactly.
something will happen years later, and somebody will do something unexpected, and it'll be like, what about this? We've never seen that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So for Kolar's battle cruiser here, you are in the front firing arc and you are range 3. So you're still in that range 3 plus closing because you are facing us. The die roll is a 1, so that makes it a 1 forward. Kind of wish that would be a bank, but that's okay. Puts
Yeah,
it
you
there.
still have me in arc. Barely, but
Barely. Yep.
I've seen that enough. I'm like,
So
yeah,
Lursa. Well, here's the beauty of Kolar's battle cruiser because Lursa is on this ship, and since it's already cloaked, she gets to do a sensor echo.
yeah.
Now we already know which way she's going to sensor echo. The question is how far.
Yeah.
And the die roll is a 6, so it is going to be a 2.
2. Okay.
Now, I would almost say Kolar's got a 2 and a 2 backward.
Yeah, create a little more distance.
Say,
Oh,
oh,
other way.
that is the wrong way. That's what I. There we
This is
go.
where we're grateful for undo.
Yes, very much. So you are definitely still at range 2, which is what M5 really wants. The action is going to be Martok, which gives you the battle station.
Yep.
And the action off the action bar is if the enemy ship is in range 1 to 3 and inside the firing arc, target lock. So now she's got a target lock as well, along with that battle station and cloak.
Just waiting for
Now,
the Kobayashi Maru to turn around and target lock me, and then we're all good.
right? So now we are in the combat phase, and Lursa, since your captain skill 0 still,
Yeah, until I die. Then I come
M5
back.
is going to
Actually,
fire
it's
first.
technically I'm skill 1 because I'm 0 plus Admiral to go to 1.
Yep.
But it doesn't matter.
No, not in terms of this game,
I am
at least.
skill move first, shoot last.
Yeah. All right. So Lursa, she's got photon torpedoes equipped, so that's what M5 is going to use. And there's even an action tree for combat phase that's in here that I forgot to mention earlier. But it goes through if an enemy ship's at range 2 to 3 and inside the front firing arc, make an attack with a secondary weapon. Mainly, D7s don't have a rear firing arc, so this is all going to be situated on the front firing arc.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to use its secondary weapon, which is place 2 time tokens on, does not spin the target lock, because these are the improved Klingon torpedoes.
Yes.
So it has a 4 attack dice attack.
And you do get a battle station to crit conversion.
Yes.
Plus battle stations, so. Yeah.
Yep. So it's just 4, so we'll go ahead and get that rolled. All right. Now we will use that target lock because M5 always uses its tokens. Get these 2 blanks re-rolled. Perfect. So M5 will spend its battle station to convert this.
Had you done your torpedo to crit conversion already?
Is there one?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I have not.
You might as well throw the crit on.
Yeah, might as well. Let me throw that battle station back up in the event that it needs to use it.
Yeah. Because I would assume that M5 would go through and say, oh, yeah, my torpedo is better than spending my token.
Yes. Again, passive abilities are always going to take precedence.
Yes. All right, well, let's roll my 3 defense dice. Ship, Picard, Riker. And see where we go. Okay, well, Riker converts. Okay, so I cancel 2. I could just die and come back on cheat death and not spend my evade token. Or I could spend my evade token and take another crit and see where we go. You know what? I'll spend the evade.
Okay.
So I cancel hit, crit. Okay. And
so you take the 1 crit.
I take a crit, and let's see what happens. Oh, is that a warp core breach? That's a warp core
It is.
breach. Warp core breach.
Oh
It
man.
makes sense. Okay. All right. Well, that was one ship that's fired at me.
Yep.
Let's have the
So now
other.
we've got Martok.
Who gets me
You
at range
are
one?
range one. So it's on the divisor. You did not move greater than 3, so it
Nope.
does not get that. So it's 3 dice attack plus 1 for the range.
Only.
It's got conversion here.
Yeah.
Get these dice rolled, and it will spend its battle station to convert that into a hit.
Okay. So I'll be cheating death when this is all over, but yeah, hey, I'm starting to roll statistically probable. But I got 2 evades, so I take a hit and then a crit.
Yes.
So let's do that. Let's take the hit and then the crit. And the crit will be a stunned helmsman. Hey, that seems like the perfect time to cheat death. And flip that over and flip that over and flip that over and then just remove cards. Remove that and that, so that I only have 1 hole remaining. Okay, there we go.
All right.
That sounds good.
Absolutely.
And now it's my turn to fire. So I only have 1 ship to shoot.
Yep.
So I will shoot Lursa with my lovely 3 dice plus my set crit. That seems statistically probable based on my day. So I've got a hit and crit.
uh,
I'm sure you'll
so,
evade all those.
so it's
5.
just the standard 5 for a cloaked Klingon.
Yeah, I mean 5 plus a battle station. Yeah, see, not a problem.
Yeah. Now, if one of these had come up battle station, M5 would use the battle station token because it needs to get rid of the tokens. It wants to get rid of its tokens.
Right. You're not going to leave anything on the table.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's the end of a round.
Yep. Kolar's battle cruiser does have an in-phase passive ability of placing an auxiliary power token beside itself to keep it cloaked.
Okay.
So that's what it'll do. Now, this is a good thing to highlight too with M5 is the aux power tokens and how it handles that. Martok didn't even use a target lock, so it is up to you.
Yes, but now I'm back to skill 8.
Oh,
Or
that's
skill
right.
9.
That card is gone. Okay,
Because
that is right.
all my crits flip.
Yes, you are
So
correct.
let me actually set my maneuver because I gotta think about a few
Yeah.
things here.
Yep. Sure. You let me know when you're ready, and we'll.
Yeah, because I got a few things hunting me, and we're on round 4 right now because I got this token I'm dragging with me. All right. If I do that, I'm in trouble. If I do that, I'm in trouble. I seem like I'm in trouble no matter what I do. Seems like a no-win scenario. Okay.
Definitely feels like the scenario for sure.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, don't mind me. I'm just breaking out a range ruler right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, okay. I've set a maneuver.
Okay. So, Martok 7, you are for sure in the front firing arc. You are within the range 1 to 2 category. So the die roll for him is a 1. Oh, you're fleeing as well because you're
Yeah.
facing away. So for him, it's a 1 forward.
Okay.
So 1 forward. He's already got the target lock, so he doesn't need that. Range 1 to 3. So his action is the battle station.
Okay.
Going over to core 8 here. You are aft because you're going to be behind that line that's the back of the base. And you are range 2. So you are fleeing. Range 1 to 2. The die roll is also another 1. So it's going to do a 1 bank. And it makes sense for it to bank my left, your right.
Yes.
Now, its action, it also has a target lock on you still. And we are range 2. That is the Clothos. So, if enemy ship is. Enemy ship cannot make any attack. Enemy ship is range 1 to 3. Outside the front firing arc. It's going. The action. It's going to have to be an evade.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm going to make it
Yeah.
an evade for right now. This one needs to get a little fleshed out. A little
Because I
more
could
fleshed out
see it.
with
I could
what.
see it at least trying to censor echo, anticipating that I might do a bank, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it would want to censor echo, and it's tricky.
That I'm not sure. That I'm definitely have to look that over again. Again, it's one of those situations I haven't run into it yet, and
Yeah.
neither any of the test players. So it's good that we caught it, and
I just
I
don't know how to
will
fix
make
it.
the adjustments as necessary. Right. Really, your guess is as good as mine.
Right. I'm
I
sure
I,
someone in
I feel like
chat,
a sensor echo would make sense, but again, you're running
but it doesn't
into
perfect
M5's
it.
going
If
to bump itself.
anything, yeah, if anything, a sensor
Right.
echo brings you into my firing arc, not necessarily the other way around.
Right.
So, yeah. Um,
And I
oh,
mean,
I
it's
should
it's a
note.
very extreme scenario as well, with it already having its target lock, being cloaked, at a far enough range. Um,
Yeah, I should note if people are chatting on live stream, I'm full screen on Tabletop Simulator, so I'm not actually watching chat. So please note I'm not ignoring you. I just have no ability to respond to chat right now.
right.
Someday I will have a dual monitor set up and then I'll be able to do that, but right now I don't.
Yeah, I hear you. All right. So the last ship to move will be Lursa. So she is going. You're in primary firing arc range 1 to 2, closing because you are facing us. So her roll is a 6. Front arc 1 to 2 closing. So her movement is supposed to be a 2 turnabout. However, or 2 come about. Her, or
Three
no, it's
come
a 2
about.
turn. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
2T, not 1 come about. 2T,
Yeah.
2 turn. So with the aux power token on, the movement is moved to the next slowest green maneuver. So in her case, if you ever look at a D7 maneuver dial, the next slowest is going to be
Here we got
it's
this.
at 2 bank.
Yeah.
So it turns it from a 2 bank or a 2 turn to a 2 bank.
Okay.
And that's just because M5 doesn't want these auxiliary power tokens because it wants to do its thing. It wants to live. It wants to do its actions.
Right.
So
I'm assuming if a ship was ever built to utilize aux power tokens, it would have a little different play style. But
right, exactly. So that puts her there. She is already cloaked. So the captain is going to do her thing where she gets to sensor echo. And it is a 2, so she's sensor echoing with the 2 template. And since we already know what direction you're heading, M5 is going to assume that you're going to be in the area where your cursor is sitting. So she's going to sensor echo 2 and back. Oh, if I can get the right one. There we go. 2 and back. Now we get the Galron battle station action, which also gives us another action off the action bar. And you are now range 2. That is enemies inside range 1 to 3 outside the front firing arc, which you are. So now the action is to evade. Just because that's the way M5's logic is you're not right in front of it, you're not in the firing arc. You can make an attack on it, so it's going to want to try and protect itself. So it's going to give itself that evade.
it makes sense. Now, I was toying between a 2 reverse, which would have saved me around, and the move that I actually did, which was the which was the 1 bank right.
Oh.
Now, I don't know. I think I banked a little. Yeah. That one just
Sandwiched
hurts.
in between.
Yeah.
That's between a rock and a hard place for sure.
Well, the good news is that it's a green maneuver, so I get a free evade.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what I need to look
I
at.
mean, you get the benefit of firing first, so there's that too.
Right. Because that's made the difference all game long.
Right.
Maybe I can hurt Martok. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I know I can't do anything with Lursa. Okay, so or I could try to finish off core. At least I'd have my rerolls. But you've got the evade token. And that is a range 3 shot. That hurts.
Looks like Martok's not in range either. Just barely outside of the.
Oh, yeah. Well, then that doesn't help.
Nope,
If anything, that hurts me. Yeah. See, if I lower my shields, I know I'm a dead man because I have 1 health, 1 hit point. At least with the shield, I have 1. I can take a hit.
Yep.
So I'm going to take a battle station. And we'll see what happens. I'll shoot Lursa.
Okay.
With my 4 attack dice
should be
plus
5,
my
right?
set crit. Picard
yes.
set
Yep.
crit. Yeah. Yeah, 3 type 8 Picard. Or 3 plus type 8 plus range 1 minus 1 for Picard, but set crit, so. We won't forget the set crit. Okay, come on.
All right.
Yeah.
got 2 evades.
Yeah.
And then the evade token, which I don't think it needs. So it evaded.
Yeah.
All right. So, Lursa definitely gets to fire first. You were within range of 1. So the combat action tree states primary weapon, as it always is going to do. So it's going to be 3 plus 1 because you are range 1. I don't believe it gets anything extra other than that. No. Gonna roll the attack dice. So it rolls a blank in a battle station. She does not have a target lock. So she will use the battle station to convert this one to a hit. 3 hits total.
Great. So I've got these lovely 3 defense dice. Wow. Okay. Well,
All
Riker
right.
converts.
Yep.
Okay, Riker converts. There we go. I spend my evade token, and I lose a shield.
Yes, sir. So Core 8 obviously doesn't have a shot sitting out here. Martok 7 does. And he is range 1 as well. So that's going to be 4 for him. He's on the divisor. So he didn't do a maneuver greater than 3, so he doesn't get the crit. So he's just rolling the 4. Yes. Alright, so it has a blank. It has a target lock. So it'll re-roll this blank. Still blank. So no going there. But it will also spend its battle station to turn these 2 battle stations into hits, ending with 3.
Yep. All right.
Hey!
I live!
All right.
live! I
So
at
what do you
least have a
call an
battle
outlier
station,
there?
but I live. Okay. Every once in a while, the green dice don't hate me.
Yeah, you get that outlier every once in a while.
Oh yeah, it's a huge outlier, but it's a okay. And
So,
that is end of round.
yes.
So I'll grab another mission token, another time mission token.
So again, Kolar, she's giving herself the Ox to stay cloaked.
Makes sense.
Passive ability. And everything else has been cleaned up. So you can set your dial and let me know when you're ready.
Will do. All right, I am set. All right, good to go.
Okay. So, Martok 7, you are definitely in that front firing arc, range 1. Or range 1 to 2. So we will roll the dice. It says 6 front firing arc, range 1 to 2. Close. This is where the definition gets kind of squirrely. I would say you're fleeing because you are heading away from me.
Technically, yeah.
So the die roll was a 1. It is a 1 forward, which kind of muddies things for it.
Yeah.
No bump, so we don't do anything there. The divisor. Range ship is within range 1 to 3 in the front firing arc, target lock. So that's what it's going to do. Let's grab another target lock on you. Core 8. Now here, you are in that flanking because you're outside of the primary firing arc, but you're in front of the line that's drawn from the back of the base. So you're in that kind of flanking area.
Okay.
And you are 3 plus. The die roll is a 5. So it is doing a 2 turn. In this case, it'll turn to the left.
Right. Turn to face the prey.
My left. Yes. So now you're range 2. That is the Clothos. The enemy ship is cloaked, so it also is going to do. Nope, you're not greater than range 3. Enemy ship is range 1 to 3 in front firing arc. Target lock. Already's got the target lock. So the next action will be to an evade because you can attack it. It doesn't have a battle station action, so it's going to be an evade.
Okay.
That's just M5 covering itself.
Saying,
Lursa 8.
I don't want to die. Yeah.
Right. Lursa 8, you're in the front firing arc, just barely. Obviously, range 1. The die roll. You're also considered closing because you're heading towards it. So 5 would be a 1 bank. This is where, again, the human player's got to come in. The 1 bank is going to be a green maneuver. It's going to get rid of that ox. But if you 1 bank to my right, your left, it's going to bump everything else. Right. And M5 knows that your ship's moving next. It's not going to be there. So M5, it doesn't make sense for M5 to bank that way. So it's going to bank the other way. Granted, it's away from the enemy ship, but since your ship has higher captain skill and is moving last, M5 can deduce that you're not going to be there. So bank. So it does that. It's got the cloak. Now the captain ability allows it to sensor echo because it's already cloaked. The sensor echo is a 3, so it's going to be with a 1 template. So it's going to sensor echo to the left and back. Would be the smartest move, I think. Now it's going to get Galvaron to do the free battle station. And because you are outside of its front firing arc, but you can attack it, it's going to do the evade for right now. Assuming that you're not going to get into the front firing arc here, its action is going to be an evade.
Okay.
That's all of them. Yep.
Well, I did a 3 bank to the right. This is called Run Away! Run for your life, little Defiant, run! Now, unfortunately, Lursa's like a dog with a bone. I'm going to forest, and I'm going to do a one bank right. And I was really hoping that was going to take me out of arc, but it did not.
Yeah, I think that puts you even more into arc.
Yeah, I'm not sure how, but but it did. Anyway, well,
Again, I
such is
think
life. It was a good
at
idea.
least you get a shot off. Yeah,
I still have a shot. That's something.
that's something. But there's the brilliance of M5. It's got an evade token, so it knew.
Yeah, I don't
It
know
seemed
how.
like it
I don't
knew.
know how it keeps doing that, but it does. All right. Yeah, my target locks keep following me.
Yep.
All right. So I get 3 attack dice.
Yes.
And my set crit. I can reroll blanks because I'm the Defiant, but I didn't roll blanks.
Hey.
So that's
All right.
something.
So you are range 2. Yeah. The Clothos has click on cloaking device came back, so it can at least convert one of those blanks,
And you have
even
an
though it
evade
really doesn't
token.
need to.
No, you do. You have because I have a set crit too.
Oh, you have your set crit. That's right.
So you have those plus you spend your evade token, and that cancels it all.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So now the only Klingon ship that's got a shot is Lursa,
Yep.
and it's going to be range 2.
At least she doesn't have me target locked too.
Nope, and that's a good thing because she can't use her torpedoes then. So it's only going to be a 3 versus a 4.
Okay. Okay. I can hope.
You can hope. So,
That's a little hope.
so the battle station gets used. That'll convert that to a hit.
Okay.
Nothing they can do about the blank.
I just need. I need something. Ah, Riker converts.
There's something, yeah.
I live again.
Yes. All right, so evaded. So we are back in the end round, or end phase again, because nobody else has a shot.
I'm gonna grab my mission token.
Yes.
Oh, come on.
So clean this up. She's going to give herself an ox again to keep her cloaked. Everybody else is good.
Oh. No. I'm not thinking. I almost set the wrong direction. I'm like, wait, no, which way is my ship going?
I do that all the time. I have to make sure that the. Sometimes I move the dial just in the orientation of the ship, so I know.
Yeah, it's easier when you're in person or when you have a physical
Yep.
dial because you can turn the dial upside down in your hand and make sure you're looking at the right way. I mean, I guess I can rotate my shipboard.
Yeah. I guess
That
that
would
is
be
one
the
way to do
real
it.
way to do it, and be like, okay, so that's the way I need to go. But okay, my maneuver's set.
Okay. All right. So, Martok 7, you are in the aft. you're going to be in the aft region. You are behind that line from the back of the base there. And you are going to be range 2 and fleeing because you are facing away.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely
Dice
fleeing.
roll. Yeah. Dice roll is a 5. And on my chart, that is a turn 2. So it's going to turn to my right.
Okay.
Right there. Now she can't cloak, so Benny ship is in range 1 to 3 inside front firing arc, and we have a target lock. Battle station. She has moved. So we'll do core 8, sitting over here. Again, you are behind that line, so you're considered aft. Facing away, so you are fleeing. The die roll is a 6. So it's going to be a 3 come about.
Makes sense.
So we will 3 come about. That is an Ox power maneuver, so it's not going to get any actions.
Yeah, but for the first time, they're facing the right way.
Yep. Now Lursa is going to move, and you are in that front forward firing arc at range 2, and you're fleeing. Die roll was a 4, so she's going to do a 1 bank to the right, on my right. And since that was a 1 bank, that also gets rid of that. Did I moved the wrong ship?
You did.
Undo. There we go. So she is still cloaked. Now it's going to do the sensor echo because of the captain, since it's cloaked. It's a 3, so it's going to be a 1 template. Now the question is, where does it want a sensor echo? And I think the easiest answer is it's going to be to the right and forward, because it knows you're trying to get out of. You're trying to go through your starting area, so you're going to have to turn a little bit. So its sensor echo action is going to be 1 and forward in the wrong direction. There we go. And of course, Gowron gives it the battle station. Now, since you are in front of it and you cannot attack it, you are within range 1 to 3 inside front fire arc. The action would be to target lock.
Okay. Back to this scenario.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I did a 3 bank left. I almost said a 3 bank right, but I did a left. Oh. I think I just picked you up and put you right back down.
Yep.
All right. These all come with me in a moment, but I will be doing a 1 straight, 1 bank to the right. Which way do I want to do this? I'm trying not to get shot. 1 bank to the right, I think, is my safe play. I'm going to 1 bank right. Yeah, that was the right call. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, no one's got a shot. It looks like you're definitely going to go out next turn. Perfect.
Yeah. Do we want to play through that last turn? I don't think
I'm good if you are. I mean, we know
I don't
the result.
think there's much purpose in me saying, "Ooh, I'm making a 2 turn to the left," and a 2
right.
left turn lets me end up on Admiral Forest.
Hey.
There we go. So I escaped. I only got 2/3 of the Maru crew, and I didn't kill any Klingons.
Nope. But they
and
sure gave you a run for your
one
money.
hole.
Yeah,
Just to
barely
point that
escaped.
out. One durability left. Those Klingons were vicious, and the only reason that I survived at all is because I got some lucky rolls at the end. I mean, I think overall my rolls were average, so it probably felt right,
Yep.
but yikes. Those Klingons have defense.
Yeah. And like I said, every scenario that's moving forward that's going to have one of these M5s as an option for people to play in our stay-at-home league that we've got going on, it's going to be tailored to the scenario. So in this case, the Klingons are what they're supposed to be. They're vicious and they got teeth. Now the Romulans are also a little more vicious, and they have teeth, but they're more involved with cloaking and sensor outgoing and stuff. But those are the two main factions that I have the M5 done for. I have the Zindi and Gorn written up, but given that the Kobayashi Maru scenario itself is going to be ending here shortly, next week on the 30th,
Yeah,
there's
Wednesday.
really no sense in me releasing that at the moment.
No.
I will put out the Klingon and the Romulans because I do want people to have hands on it and play it. I've had it. I asked for volunteers. It was either last week or the week before, but I asked for volunteers on my Facebook page, and I got a lot of good responses. And I sent out the copy of the M5s, and I got a lot of good feedback. A lot of people are enjoying what M5's got to offer. Um, so looking forward, M5 is definitely going to be an option in the solo play for people. Now, I'm excited for when Alliance comes out because, again, this is completely based off of the work that Josh Dirksen has done and that Christopher Peters has done. I give them full credit for pretty much everything here. The movement templates, the action, even the action trees are based on stuff that they've done. So each scenario that we do or that we're going to create for the stay-at-home OP League itself will have one of these. So the October's is going to be a little bit different because it's not going to have an M5 with it, and that'll get announced here in the coming week what that OP is going to be. I've kind of kept that one close, just because I didn't want to give anything away to anybody, because that one's going to be kind of crazy hard from my test plays itself. Fun, just super hard. So the next scenario in November is going to be it's based off of Operation Fort Knox, which is already a mission that we have in the game, based off the Voyager episode where they sneak onto a damaged Borg sphere to steal our transwarp coil. So in the multiplayer version for that OP, it'll have two fleets battling out to try and steal this transwarp coil. The solo play version is going to have your fleet trying to get that coil while defending against some Ferengi pirates. So we've got Decoras are coming in, and they're going to be doing gold press latinum things along with some of their crew that they have that do things to your ship. So I'm working on writing that M5 up at the moment. But that's kind of an example of what to look forward in the future for M5 in these scenarios that we're doing. And then on top of that, if it's very successful, I'm more than willing to look at releasing M5 as a singular by itself thing. But that's something I have to work with Chris Peters on because he was working on that, and he's got we call him in our group because he plays with our group here in Grand Rapids. We call him Mr. Utopia anytime he's around because that's who he is. But he's been working closely with the X-Wing community lately, and he's got a lot of other projects that he's kind of taken on. So I'll definitely conversate with him and see what we can do with M5 in the future as far as a standalone version.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people can try it out, and I almost feel like you become a bit of a better player by watching what it does because it makes you think, what would I do in that scenario?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it makes you watch what a system that, granted, that players wrote did. Um, I felt like M5 fell apart a little bit in the chase, but in the initial pursuit, it was really good. And maybe that's because my ship was meant to get out. I'm not sure that any fleet, no matter how it was set up, would really be geared to chase me down.
Definitely. Yep.
Admiral Forrest is just one of those abilities that lets you get out faster. But that's only because I
Yeah, absolutely.
survived. So it's worth. And I don't know that anything would necessarily need to be tweaked because M5 basically did its job, and the fact that it was split up like it was around the objective point, it meant I had stuff hitting me to start, and then I had another ship after that initial volley. I always had two ships at least contending to shoot at me. Whether or not they
Yep.
actually did was a different case, but I never had it easy. The only time I didn't
Nope.
take
And like you
even
said,
one shot was the end.
without Admiral Forrest, I mean, you would have been in range for that last shot, and that probably would have done you in.
Yeah. I mean, granted, it's
So
a three.
if we
It's
played that out fully, without Forrest, Kolar's got she has photon torpedoes. So she would have automatically thrown that right at you.
oh yeah. So yeah,
So
that's 4 dice with conversion. Yeah, I'm probably toast.
yep. And I mean that's one of those things. It definitely makes you think about what M5 is doing. It almost feels when I'm playing it as another player, and you kind of build around it, or you can try to build around it. Um, so it kind of does that on two levels, where you know the fleet ahead of time because I have it typed out. You can look at it in Utopia, and you can kind of plan your own ship around it. Um, and depending on your playstyle, of course, whether you're going to run or you're going to try and face them head on and take out as many as you want, be aggressive as you want. But it makes you build better, and then it almost feels like it's another player actually playing. So you play better because you have to try and figure out what M5 is trying to do or where it's going to be when it is your turn to move. Versus playing yourself, which I've done a lot. I mean, there was a long time where the game first came out where I didn't have anybody to play, so I played myself, and I could always disassociate myself. Either I forget what movement dial I set or whatever the case may be, and I can play that way. But I understand that other people can't, and I think M5 is a great solution to that problem that we had when we first started this league up. In those discussions that we had in Messenger with Mr. Sonus and Chris Peters and yourself and Mr. Ward, the Council of Antares, as I call them.
Yeah, just a silly name, but it works.
Right? Um, but yeah, that's M5. I mean, I'm glad we were able to showcase it off, and hopefully it brings more people's attention to it. We as far as month one for the OP league, the stay at home league is coming to a close on the 30th, and we've got I think I had 10 players at the moment who've reported scores to me. So if anybody out there is watching on YouTube, you'll look us up on Facebook, the Antares Shipyard Project. You can find the OP League stuff right there in the event section, or it's pinned at the top of the announcements. And it's a quick scenario. You play it, and you can report the scores, and it's just meant to get people playing the game. It's not meant to be super competitive. There's no rankings involved. Nothing like that. It's just meant for people to play a game of attack wing.
Yeah, and that's all it ever needed to be was, hey, how
Yeah,
can we get people playing uh, in a way that is fun? And maybe Kobayashi Maru was quote unquote too hard. I don't know, but that's all it needs to be. It's just, hey, let's try it out. Let's do stuff. Um,
yeah. And if anybody, if there's a time issue with getting this first OP done, that's okay. You don't have to play month one. You can join month two. There's no bar to entry. You can play whatever months you want to. You don't have to play every month if you don't want to. That was the whole idea behind this that I had was you could play with a friend who only plays a couple times a month or a couple times a couple months out of the year, or you could play by yourself on your kitchen table, or you could play on Tabletop Simulator like we just did. It gives you the flexibility to get that game in, to get that itch.
exactly. And this has been great for me because as I've moved, my all my attack wing stuff is still at my parents' house, and I don't have a table here to play it on. But I can load up Tabletop Simulator because my desktop computer's set up and I've got a great internet connection. So this has been
Yeah,
perfect for me. But you asked me to
yeah,
try to
and that
set up
that's one of
attack
the
wing and I can't do it.
yeah, and that's one of the things I like to tell new players is if you've got Steam, if you got a desktop, take a look at Tabletop Simulator. Chris Peters made a wonderful mod, for Star Trek Attack Wing, and you do not have to own every ship. Every ship is available to you. Every card is available. Multiple copies of, the high sought after cards are there. You can
Hmm.
have multiple copies of upgraded or Type 8s or whatever. It gives you that flexibility to run whatever you want, pretty much.
And
And I know somebody in the big Facebook group did a shout out to Chris Peters, and I love to piggyback off that because this mod is great. It's wonderful. I use it all the time. I know there's not a lot of people who play it on Discord like there is with the X-wing community, but that's a whole completely separate issue altogether. This mod is wonderful, and I'm looking forward to the updates he's got in mind for this.
yeah, I mean, as is, it's a really good mod. Put updates into this, okay, cool. Make it look better, awesome. I'm all for it.
So that's everything I've got. I don't know if you got any questions for me with M5 or anything Antares is doing. Um,
I don't think so.
I don't,
I know you're on a tiny bit of a design break, which is good. I mean, not good that you're taking time off, but good that you're taking a little bit of time to decompress and enjoy life. I know personally, burnout is a very real thing, and in anything that you do
oh,
that's
absolutely.
supposed to be for fun, if you do it too much, it becomes like work, and you don't want to do that. So, I
Yep, I
I
was
will
worried
say I
about
really
over flooding.
appreciate. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was worried about over flooding. With too many ship releases at once. So I want to scale that back a little bit. Definitely, maybe a ship pack every week or 2 weeks. Um, when I come back off this little break I got going on.
Yeah, every 2 weeks or like two a month, and if they happen to be back to back weeks or a week and then 2 weeks off and another week, then that's okay. Whatever whatever feels right, or release them when they're ready, when you feel they're ready. It's an old Nintendo design philosophy, going back to when there were cartridges and you couldn't do game updates. We would rather
Hmm.
release a game when it's ready and have it be a good game than release a game on time and have it be a bad game.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean,
Completely understand that.
I remember pointing that quote out to a couple of the WizKids Star Trek leads, and I said, guys, don't rush your products. We will wait a month, 2 months, as long as the product is good. I said, play test it a little bit longer, and it's okay. We'll be okay. If you have to push back an OP because you want to get the OP right, then that's okay. But
Yeah,
they never
absolutely.
listened because WizKids' design philosophy was pump out as many ships as fast as possible, and that's just what it was for a bit. But because I've been around since the beginning. I've been around from we will release 4 new ships every month for as many months as we can do it, and I miss
Yeah,
those
and
days.
I know coming in. I think I started in 2015, so it was about a year late, and I saw it. I went to Wizard World in Philadelphia when I was still in the military, and that's when I saw the booth that just had a complete wall of attack wing, and I had no idea what it was, but I knew instantly I had to get involved, and that's I've been buying ships ever since. And it seemed like 4 a month was a little too much, but I felt maybe they flooded the market at the beginning. But
Yeah.
that's it's neither here nor there.
Well, I was exciting. I was excited. I did a little cleaning in my old bedroom at my parents', and I found 2 Enterprise E's and a scimitar in blisters.
Ooh,
Yeah, I was like, ooh, I don't need these. I can get them in hands of people who do.
yeah,
And if
especially the
anybody
Scimitar.
knows me, I'm not looking to extort people. That has never been my plan. It is not a. It's not a. I want $5,000. No, it's. I'd like to make sure it goes to somebody who wants a ship, who can play a ship, and all of that. So
Oh,
we'll
for
see. I
sure.
haven't decided what I'm doing with them. I haven't decided if I'm selling or whatever. But so don't bombard me with messages going, "I want the scimitar. I want the scimitar." I mean, wouldn't mind hearing that people want the scimitar, but you know, I I'm figuring things out. I have a bunch of extra product that I need to get rid of at some point too. Because there were
Sure.
times, well, there were times that I, I've almost always had a second person that would play from my collection,
Yep.
be it an old girlfriend or my buddy Craig. And now with A with so much out in the game, and B with COVID, it's kind of I'm kind of at a point where I could trim a fair bit of my collection and down to one of each and two of the things I really want, and not miss most of it.
Right.
So plus tabletop simulator, I can have 7 of anything I'd like.
Yeah.
But there is also something to be said for the picture I have on the shipyard with my whole collection at the time.
Yeah. Definitely.
That was I think I took it right after the Kelvin pack came out, and I just put a whole mess of ships out on the kitchen table. I didn't even have enough base stands for all the ships that I owned. That's when you know you have too many ships.
Yes.
But
Although
yeah,
some would say you could never have too many.
um, if you
Well,
never,
I've got 3 people played on my collection, so in my
okay,
case, I can never have too many.
no, you can't because inevitably for a scenario, everybody will want the same ships.
Yep, and then we generally rotate which factions they use because I only have one hood, so I only
Okay,
I got one copy of or one hood, one Lakota, so I only had one copy of Type 8s upgraded. So
yeah,
we tend to split them
I
as best we
was.
can.
See, I was lucky. I was the official preview person for the boosters. So I got a free copy of all of those, the 2015-16 booster brick. And then I was able to pull a couple of, I think one extra Lakota, maybe two, and I ended up trading off or selling off the other one because I'm like, I've got two upgradeds. I'm okay with two. I don't need more than two. That just feels greedy, especially when some people don't have any.
Yeah,
Because one thing I've always believed in when it comes to at least a local venue is I don't want pay to win. I'd rather see things in the hands of players, and I will loan out anything that other people would want as long as I'm not using it. And even if somebody really wants something, then I will say, okay, I haven't built it, so yeah, you can run that. I'll run something else, and that's okay.
yep, definitely same
So,
case over here.
but
So
yeah, all right. Well, I think that's probably a good place to end the stream. We've been going
yes,
for almost 2 hours here, and I still have homework to do. It was one of the deals I made with myself. I said, I need to get to a certain stopping point in my homework. I need to finish a lesson plan. But then I still have two more things to do. One of them's going to take me literally 5 minutes. The other one's going to take me like 15, 20, 30 if I do it like way over the top. So I have like an hour of homework left. And for me, it's all due at midnight and it's not even 6 o'clock. So I'll be fine. But I also wanted to have fun and let you get done with this before it became way too late on your end.
yep, definitely. Being on the East Coast is a, it's a challenge all on its own for you. We're
Yeah,
getting to
it's
do these
just
things.
because I'm like, oh, it's like 9 o'clock.
So
I can do a live stream, and people come on and be like, why do you start these so late? I'm like, oh, yeah, time zones are a thing. Right. Sorry. But yeah.
right.
Well, hey,
So
Jerry, thank you.
yeah,
I appreciate this. Thank you for showing off M5. And to people who watched, and there were at, at a high 10 people watching. So that's pretty good. Um,
awesome.
uh, thank you for watching. This is awesome, and gonna try to keep playing Tabletop Simulator. No idea how frequent it'll be, but it'll exist, and we'll make it happen. So yeah, uh, thank you all. And with that, I'm going to hit stop streaming. So